All eyes are on the Paris Olympics, but back in India, IIT Madras has its sights set on Olympics 2036 with the belief that startups will help boost India's medal tally in the coming years. At India's first ever sports tech startup Conclave, IIT Madras said it will incubate 300 sports tech startups by 2036. My colleague Akhil Vishwanath brings a report on the role of startups in enabling Indian athletes close the gap with global frontrunners.
The Paris Olympics has begun, with 117 athletes representing India at the mega sporting event. Neeraj Chopra, PV Sindhu, Nikat Zareen, Lovlina Borgohain and Vinesh Phogat will all be in action. The aim will be to better India's best ever haul of 7 medals at Tokyo Olympics in 2020 and close the gap with some of the world's top sporting nations. To make it possible, some of the Indian athletes have trained under a special coach, IIT Madras. Recognizing the need for superior sports science and technology to enable athletes to achieve peak performance and compete with the best, the institute has been developing an array of solutions, using its research in mathematics and AI to biomechanics and data science.
One of our first product that we rolled out from IIT Madras was Smart Boxer, which we believe is clearly right there with the best in the world. And for this, we worked with Inspire Institute of Sports. And also, we had it set up in NCOE Rohtak, which was used to kind of give feedback to boxers for their training session. The application of this goes far beyond, which is why we are looking at rolling this up under a broader IoT trackable platform, which can be rolled out at a physical education level for students.
IIT Madras is not stopping at that. With an eye on Olympics in 2036, the institute also wants to nurture innovations from sports tech startups, for which it organized India's first ever sports tech conclave and assessed pitches for the first cohort of startups for its incubation fund.
We've partnered with IIT Madras Pravartak Technologies, who are committed to funding 10 identified sports tech startups with investment ranging from 10 to 50 lakhs per startup. So we've shortlisted 6 of them finally. And the key criteria for them is, at the core, it should have any of these components, which is what we call internally as snacks: sensors, networking, actuators, controllers, and including a layer of AI wherever it's possible. Our vision is clearly to incubate close to 300 sports tech startups by 2036 Olympics.
One of the startups that pitched for funding at the conclave is already working with the Center of Excellence for Sports Science and Analytics at IIT Madras. Digital Darwin is building deep tech solutions using computer vision and generative AI for injury prevention and offers a complete athlete management system called Speed.ai.
We have 300 different variables that are integrated into a platform. These are from various brands like your Samsungs of the world, Apple, Garmin, Fitbit. So you could be using any variable, right? We ingest the data from all these variables, push them into the system, standardize the data input. After that, we have analysis run on top of it, which is this next layer, which is done by our AI models. This analysis is real-time analysis into the load, the strain, the recovery, how well your body is performing under all the stress parameters that you're putting it through as an athlete.
Today, we are already in 40% of Sports Authority of India centers. We are having more than 2,000 athletes being assessed on our platform, with more than 200 doctors and 500 sports scientists who are using our platform for doing the various assessments. And some of these particular athletes are also gonna be representing India in Paris.
Beyond these partnerships, the startup is also running a pilot program for integration with the National Center for Sports Sciences and Research, which is being led by Brigadier Dr. Bibu Kalyan Naik, a sports physiology and trauma expert who will also be looking after the Indian contingent at the Paris Olympics.
They are helping us in developing a sports science software, which is going to be of immense importance for all our sports ecosystem, so that by sitting here, we can monitor the parameters of athletes who are training at Imphal, who came training at Trivandrum, or who were training at Patiala and Bangalore. It is being now worked out on a pilot model. Once it is through, then it will be adopted.
Even as India seeks to turn its strides in sports science into a sprint, the country has some catching up to do with the technological evolution in Europe, the US and Australia, according to Asian Games medalist and former India Davis Cup player Mustafa Goose, who is now a venture capital investor backing sports tech startups.
when it comes to performance sport is very, very far ahead. They've been at it for a long time. They've had access to capital to really experiment and evolve and build it out over the years. So we do have a lot of catching up to do. I do feel that we will catch up faster and we'll be on par. But yes, the more evolved sports nations are very far ahead.
Goose believes venture capital can play a key role in catapulting India's sporting performance, just like it propelled India to become the world's third largest startup ecosystem. With camera person Dinesh Dehuri, Akhil Vishwanath for CNBC-TV18.